You want to know the most powerful thing I ever said to a woman who told me I was too old for her? I didn't argue. I didn't try to prove her wrong. And yet, she spent months chasing me. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the twist. What I did goes against everything most men instinctively do in that moment. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a simple yet devastatingly effective 3-step method that flips "you're too old" into "I can't stop thinking about you." A method so counterintuitive, most men will never figure it out. But before I break it down, let me show you why 99% of men sabotage themselves the moment a woman brings up age, and why, just last week, a friend of mine turned this so-called deal breaker into the exact reason she chose him over younger guys. I've analyzed hundreds of age gap relationships, dissecting exactly how men handle this moment, and what I discovered stunned me. The ones who succeed. They aren't the youngest looking. They don't rely on hair dye, gym memberships, or pretending to be something they're not. The real winners understand a hidden psychological trigger, one I'm about to reveal to you. But fair warning, what I'm about to say might make you uncomfortable, because when a woman tells you, "You're too old for me," you are standing at a crossroads. Your next words will determine everything. Think about it. You've spent years building your confidence, your success, your lifestyle, and in just seconds, a single misstep can erase it all in her eyes. I've seen it happen over and over. The powerful CEO who stumbles over his words and instantly becomes the old guy. The confident businessman who tries too hard to prove himself and loses her respect. The charming professional who lets a single comment shake his entire frame, and suddenly, she sees him as weak. But here's what no one tells you. When she says, "You're too old," you actually have an advantage no younger man will ever have. Done right, this moment doesn't repel her, it pulls her in. In fact, this can be the turning point where she becomes more drawn to you than ever before, because buried inside her words is an opportunity, but only if you know how to trigger it. Triple death trap. Let me reveal the 3 deadly mistakes that instantly kill attraction. I call them the triple death trap, because they fall into just one, and you can watch her interest vanish in real time. The first death trap. The defensive response. No, I'm not that old. I mean, I hit the gym 5 times a week, and everyone says I look way younger. Why this destroys attraction? The second you try to prove you're not that old, you confirm that age is, in fact, an issue for you. And if it's a problem for you, it becomes a problem for her. The second death trap. The logic trap. Well, actually, studies show that relationships with an age gap tend to be more successful. Plus, older men are more financially stable and emotionally mature. Why this fails? Attraction isn't built on PowerPoint presentations. The moment you start listing reasons she should want you, you've already lost. You can't convince a woman to feel desire, because desire isn't logical. The third death trap. The confidence killer. Yeah, I guess maybe I am kind of old for you. Why this is fatal: the second you accept her frame, even hesitating for a moment, you reinforce every stereotype she might have about older men: uncertain, insecure, and easily shaken. Now, here's where things get interesting. What if I told you that this very moment, this so-called deal breaker, could actually be the key to making her more attracted to you than ever? Because here's the paradox. The same woman who tells one man he's too old will often end up dating a man who's even older. Let me say that again. The exact same woman. I had a client, let's call him James, who was at a high-profile charity gala when a woman told him, "You're just not my type. You're a little too old for me." 2 months later, she was dating someone 12 years older than him. It wasn't because the other guy was better looking. It wasn't because he was wealthier. The difference? He understood what she was really saying. Because when a woman says, "You're too old," she's not making a statement. She's testing you, asking 3 unspoken questions. 1. Are you insecure about your age? She doesn't care about the number. She cares about whether you do. 2. Can you handle social pressure? She's imagining what it will feel like introducing you to her friends, her family, her social circle. 3. Are you truly confident in who you are? This is the biggest test of all, the one most men fail, and that's where things take a turn. Because in the next few moments, I'm going to show you exactly how to flip this test in your favor and make her see you in a way no younger man ever could. The 3-step method turning rejection into attraction. This is where everything shifts. I've developed a response so powerful I almost hope women bring up the age gap, because when they do, I know exactly how to flip it in my favor. I call it the three-step method, a simple yet devastatingly effective way to take the words, "you're too old for me," and transform them into, "I can't stop thinking about you." Step 1. Transform the test. Most men panic when they hear, "you're too old for me." They defend, they explain, they scramble. You're going to do something completely unexpected. Instead of resisting, you amplify it with a smirk. "You're absolutely right. I'm ancient. In fact, I just finished writing my memoirs from the Renaissance." What just happened? You didn't just agree, you exaggerated it to the point of absurdity. And this flips everything. Why? Because this one move, checkmark, shows unshakable confidence. You own who you are, proves you can't be manipulated, you're in control, flips the energy, suddenly it's playful, not serious. She expected resistance, she got amusement, and now she's intrigued. Step 2. Amplify the attraction. Most men stop here, but we're just getting started. Right after your playful response, you pivot, smoothly and deliberately. But you know what's interesting? You seem surprisingly mature for your age. The way you handled that situation earlier, most women in their 30s wouldn't have had that kind of insight. Boom, you've just flipped the script. Now you're evaluating her. Now you're the one making the judgment call. And in doing so, you accomplish 3 things. You create intrigue. She wonders what else you've noticed. You give a genuine, specific compliment. That hits deeper. You shift the dynamic. She's proving herself to you. Step 3. Position the power shift. This is the master stroke, the move that makes the difference between a one-time interaction and deep, lasting attraction. You deliver the final blow with one perfectly timed line. "Actually, I should be the one worried. Are you mature enough for me?" Then pause, hold the tension, let it sink in, and finally, with a slow, confident smile, "Tell me, what's the most sophisticated thing you've done this month?" That's it. The game has completely changed. Now, she's not just thinking about whether you fit her standards, she's wondering whether she fits yours. You've positioned yourself as the chooser. You've created positive tension. You've flipped the entire dynamic effortlessly. Execution, the hidden keys that separate men who get one date from men who build lasting attraction. Most guys mess this up, not because of what they say, but because of how they say it. Here's how to execute it flawlessly. Tonality. Start with a slightly amused tone. Transition into warm curiosity. Finish with a playful challenge. Body language. Relaxed posture, slight head tilt during playful moments. Strong, steady eye contact during the power shift. Subtle smirk, always in control. And remember, James, the guy who heard "you're too old for me" at a charity gala? Last week he used this exact method. Let me show you what happened next. Mastering timing. The hidden key to shifting attraction. Attraction isn't just about what you say, it's about when and how you say it. Mastering timing is what separates a man who gets dismissed from a man who becomes unforgettable. Here's the breakdown. First response, immediate, lighthearted, playful. Second phase, slow down. Build anticipation. Let the tension rise. Power shift. Delivered with precision. At the moment she least expects. Let me show you what actually happened when James used the 3-step method. He didn't just get a positive reaction, something deeper took hold. The woman who had just told him, "You're too old for me," suddenly started asking him questions about his life, his experiences, his perspective. 2 weeks later, she told her friends, "It's crazy. His age actually makes him even more attractive." But here's the real twist. She was older than the last woman James dated. Age was never the real issue. It never is. How to prevent the objection before it ever comes up. Now let's take this to the next level. What if you could eliminate the "you're too old" objection before it's even spoken? I call this pre-framing your age, a psychological Aikido move that makes age a non-issue before she even thinks about it. Here are 3 powerful pre-frames to embed in conversation naturally. 1. The experience thread. When telling a story, casually drop in, "Yeah, that's one thing I love about being at this stage in life." You start to understand things most people don't appreciate until much later. Why it works. Positions age as a strength, not a weakness. Subtly rewires her perception. Your age is now an asset. Shows self-assurance, no defensiveness, just confidence. 2. The social proof. Setup. Instead of avoiding past relationships, use them strategically. Funny enough, my ex was actually about your age. She always said the best thing about our relationship was... Why this is powerful. Implies you've already been chosen by women her age. Subconsciously removes the taboo of the age gap. Sparks curiosity. She'll wonder what made that relationship work. 3. The value flip. When discussing life experiences, reframe the idea of age entirely. You know what's fascinating about meeting people from different generations? You get this rare mix, fresh perspective and real-world wisdom. That's something you almost never find in one person. Why this is a game changer. Subtly shifts the focus from age to value. Creates an exclusive, elite dynamic. Like she's lucky to experience this. Flips the script. Now she is reconsidering the way she views age. Most men wait for rejection and react to it. The men who win, they set the frame before it ever becomes an issue. This is the difference between playing defense and being in control from the start. And when you do this right, she won't just accept your age. She'll see it as one of the most attractive things about you. Now, let's take it even deeper. What if you could make her actively prefer you over younger men? Let me show you exactly how to do it. The key to making age a non-issue isn't just in what you say, it's in when you say it. This is why pre-framing is so powerful. Think of it as vaccinating against the objection before it ever happens. Here's why this works on a psychological level. When a woman meets an older man, 2 competing narratives form in her mind. 1. Social conditioning whispers that age gaps are unusual. 2. Natural attraction pulls her toward confidence, experience, and grounded masculinity. Most men let these 2 forces fight it out. But you resolve the conflict before it even begins. You don't let her doubt creep in. You reframe the story so that she sees your age as a strength rather than a limitation. Let's break down exactly how to do this in real-world scenarios. Scenario number 1, the first meeting. Within the first 10 minutes, casually drop the experience thread into the conversation. Watch her response. If she reacts positively, follow up with the value flip. This subtly primes her to see your age as an advantage without you ever needing to justify it. Scenario number 2, the early dating phase. Use the social proof. Setup, mentioning past relationships naturally without over-explaining. Transition to deeper conversations where the age gap becomes a positive association rather than a hurdle. Now, she's not just accepting the idea, she's embracing it. But here's the most powerful truth I've learned after years of studying and navigating age gap relationships. Your age will either be your greatest insecurity or your greatest asset. There is no in-between. The men who effortlessly succeed with younger women, they're not the ones who look the youngest. They're the ones who own their age, who make it part of their masculine appeal. Ask yourself this: what's more attractive? A man who's apologizing for who he is, or a man who's fully embraced his journey and the wisdom it's given him? Remember how this video started? The woman who told me I was too old for her? Months later, she admitted that the exact way I handled that moment, with complete confidence and playfulness, made her realize she had never met a man so comfortable in his own skin. And the thing she was most hesitant about, it became the very thing she found most attractive. Now, it's your turn. Here's what I want you to do next. Drop a comment below with your age and the biggest challenge you've faced with younger women. Which of these pre-framing techniques are you going to try first? Let's see how many men are ready to flip the script and turn their age into their ultimate advantage.